Genius alchemist Chu Jingten was said to love cold, aloof women. And it just so happened that I perfectly fit his aesthetic. So, to secure some cultivation resources, my declining Lingyong sect sent me to the Ocean sect for an arranged marriage. But I knew he absolutely loathed the idea of me. Just as I arrived outside the main hall of the Ocean sect, the genius alchemist was throwing a massive tantrum inside to reject the union. He was actually threatening to end his own life, right there in the hall. Is the Lingyong sect completely out of their minds? Are they that desperate to marry off their daughter? I'm only 18 years old. Why on earth should I get married? Tell her to get lost. I will never agree to this marriage. To avoid marrying me. He actually used his own life to threaten the elders. So, I decided to grant his wish, and planned to demand 3 spiritual herb mountains as compensation for calling off the engagement. But the moment he laid eyes on me, his furious face instantly flushed bright red. Hello there. I am Chu Jingten. You can call me Brother Jingten. But I immediately took half a step back, staring at him with deep suspicion. He was just screaming and refusing to marry me a second ago. Why the sudden change of heart? Did he somehow sense the deadly poison bone hidden inside my body? I decided to test him and asked, I actually really love the idea of this marriage. What about you? Hearing this, the Outer sect elder lost his temper. You rebellious little brat. Weren't you just fighting tooth and nail against marrying her? This old guy isn't my master. He just blabbers absolute nonsense all the time. With a flick of his wrist, he produced a celestial herb glowing with a fiery red light. Since this is our first meeting, this scarlet rock herb can help soothe your body. Meanwhile, the elder's eyes nearly popped out of his head. Isn't that the herb you risked your life to get? You were saving it to refine your grade 9 golden Esker. And you're just giving it to her, just like that? This is a youth-preserving pill. Then this is a warm jade bracelet. You know what? Just take them all. Consider it a small token of my affection. He called this a small token? I kept a cold face and refused to take them. Was he trying to mock me? Did he think he could buy me off because the Lingyong sect has fallen? Seeing my lack of reaction, Chu Jingten panicked. Are these not good enough for you? Here, I'll give you this magical alchemy cauldron as well. Right at that moment, a resentful voice echoed in my ear. Stop giving things away, my little ancestor. Shukina is nothing but a stepping stone. Your destined partner is already on her way. I already have someone I love. Tingadal, hurry up and cast a spell to sever the red string of destiny between me and that girl. Sure, Suqing might be your type. But her fate is destined to be lowly. She was destined to be a stepping stone. How strange. No one in the hall is speaking, yet I can hear the secret conversation between Chu Jingten and someone named Dinling. Just then, a female cultivator in white walked into the hall and bowed respectfully. Greetings, Elder of the Ocean sect. My master ordered me to deliver this formal invitation, inviting Senior Brother Jingting to the Sea of Illusions Pavilion for a chat. Your future partner's master is inviting you over just to set you two up. Wang Xie is the one with the ultimate yin-yang dual cultivation cauldron physique. Only she can truly help you. Oh, I'm busy. I don't have time. Hurry up and sever my karmic connection with this destined girl. I don't want Qinghan to misunderstand. Shijo Qingtian didn't even spare a single glance at the female cultivator. I can't sever it. The moment she sees you, your destined karmic bond will begin. Chu Jianten gritted his teeth. If you can't sever it, then don't blame me if I burn down this piece of junk cauldron you live in. Diegling cried out in grievance. You actually want to burn me? Just because your alchemy talent is so overpowered and your heavenly luck is off the charts. You find top-tier treasures wherever you go and eat rare elixir pills like they're candy. Now that I've set you up with a destined female lead, you want to kill me? I don't want to live anymore. I don't care about heaven's will. I only want Su Qigan. Dinglong let out a deep sigh. That young sect master of the Lingyong sect is full of schemes. Do you have any idea? To increase her power. She secretly cultivated the extremely dangerous forbidden poison gob arts. To make the Lingyong sect powerful. She will stop at nothing. Do you really think she wants to marry you? It's all just to protect herself. He literally forged his body into a poison bone physique. Who turns venomous insects into his eyes and ears, skeeting into various sects to gather intelligence. My fingers tightened slightly. I can't believe this cauldron spirit sees right through my trump cards. But so what? He cultivates ancient poison. He must have suffered so much. He's so pitiful. Yet he still works this hard. The cauldron spirit almost coughs up blood from sheer frustration. I've seen him command those toxic insects back in the Kangoo mystic realm. He is absolutely ruthless. How on earth is he pitiful? Then why do you care if I like him or not? Do you know why Cheng Han is gathering all this intelligence? Yu has a top-grade poison spirit root, but his cultivation is stuck at the golden core stage. He's suffering from severe toxic backlash. That's why he's searching for the Nine-Nether Demon Abyss, which is actually an ancient immortal artifact. It can cure his toxic backlash and boast his cultivation. My heart skips a beat. This cauldron spirit really knows everything. I absolutely cannot let him find out that only your fire spirit root can help him suppress the poison barrier and seize the artifact. I would rather be sealed in the Kanghai mystic realm if it's in the hands of Patriarch Yuming, the lord of the Hanhai Pavilion. So, it's with Patriarch Yuming. I cut off their inner monologue and codied. I turned to the female cultivator of the Wanhai Pavilion. Your holy maiden sure expects a lot of respect. Although Chu Jintin and I haven't officially formed a covenant yet, our union has already been approved by both our sects. Isn't it against the rules for your holy maiden to barge in like this? You misunderstand, Miss Sue. I am only here on the pavilion lord's orders to invite senior brother Jintin. I let out a cold laugh and glance at the female cultivator. Suddenly, I find myself very interested in the Hanhai Pavilion. Philato Taoist Chu, would you care to accept the invitation and bring me along with you? The cauldron spirit screams frantically inside Chu Jintain's mind. This witch must have caught wind of something. Don't agree to her request. We are absolutely not going to Wanhai Pavilion. That's the female lead's territory.
Chu Jintain said without a second thought.
I've suddenly changed my mind. I want to go, but on one condition. I'm bringing Qingnan with me. I assume your esteemed pavilion won't mind an extra guest? The system spirit cursed in his head. This is absolutely infuriating. If I'd known you were such a hopeless romantic, I never would have chosen you as my host. The cultivator nodded in agreement. Of course, I'd be more than happy to. Chu Juntian turned to look at me. Do you want to rest at the Ochen sect, or should we head out now? If you stay, I can go to the back mountain to harvest some spiritual herbs for you, and you can choose any cultivation technique you want from the library. Silly disciple, you've already given him all your top-grade elixirs. If that's still not enough, why don't you just pack me up and give me to him too? The Ochen sect elder was on the verge of tears. What on earth would he want with a decrepit old man like you? Shut up, I muttered, rubbing my temples. The bickering between this young and old duo was giving me a massive headache. We leave now. Half a day later, we arrived at Huanhai Pavilion on the shores of the East Sea. Just as we reached the mountain gates, we were stopped by two gatekeeping disciples. Halt! Who goes there?
属平和的灵运 sect.
The gatekeeper sneered. The Union sect? That rundown joke of a place? What is an ancient cultivator like you doing at our Hanhai Pavilion? I remained expressionless. I was invited by your saintess. Bullshit. Why would our saintess invite trash from a garbage sect like yours? Get lost. Those who insult my sect, Pama, shall pay dearly. My expression turned ice cold. With a slight twitch of my fingers, two tiny, translucent flying insects silently crept toward them. In an instant, their eyes rolled back and they collapsed into a deep sleep, their bodies twitching slightly. A poison-bone spy following in the shadows asked in a low voice, Master, how should we handle these two? Leave them be. The sleepy goo will only put them to sleep for 3 days. They won't die. But as for you, you've been undercover for 5 years, and you couldn't even find the 9 Abysses demon realm in the Kangwai secret realm. Forgive me, Master. Get back to the Lenyu sect and take your punishment. Gieng started making a fuss again. Su Qinghan actually played dirty. Just because they cursed at her a couple of times? That's way too vicious. Using a goobug is a dirty, demonic trick. He's so brave, defending the sect's honor, and actually fighting right outside Wanhai Pavilion. He really has guts. Are you out of your mind? She poisoned them. Look at how miserable those two disciples are. I kept a straight face, pretending I didn't hear a thing. I seriously cannot understand how Chu Jintain's brain works.
Chu Jintain, walk over.
Kicked a stone on the ground, flicked it up, and said, Look, what is this? It looks like an array core piece. Dingling snorted. That's just a guiding stone from Huanhai Pavilion.
树种田，母融血，是靠民谣恩义三个。
Hurry up and put on your best genius act, so you can sweep the chosen saintess off her feet. Before the words even left his mouth, deep, soft footsteps echoed from inside the sect gates. Madame She walked out, accompanied by her maid. She saw the unconscious disciples on the ground, and then looked at me and Chu Jintain. Her delicate brows furrowed slightly. What's going on here? A steward rushed over, pointing at me as he cried out, Saintis,
Fix this Lin.
thinks the two temenis to Mizi. She poisoned our gate guards. Tension instantly filled the air. Who dares lay a finger on her?
Chu Chongting glowered coldly at the steward.
Toanai Pavilion steward was forced back step by step, under the suffocating pressure of his true fire, but he still gritted his teeth and cried, Saintis! This demoness openly poisoned people right at our gates. Shut up, Marokshio scolded, in a sharp but quiet voice. I step forward and check the pulses of the two gatekeeping disciples. My brow relaxes. It's just a simple sleeping hacks. Their meridians are temporarily blocked, but they'll be fine after a few days of rest. It was our Fonhai Pavilion disciples who were disrespectful first. Murongshi says, carry them down. I can't help but steal another look at Murongshi. This Destiny's daughter doesn't seem as arrogant and brainless as the rumors say. She's actually quite reasonable. Why isn't she losing her temper?
She's the Destiny's daughter, for heaven's sake.
She just got slapped in the face right at her own front door. She should have slashed Su Qinghan to pieces by now.
Chu Dongting scoffs inwardly.
She's far more reasonable than you are. Murongse turns around. Senior brother, my master has prepared a welcoming banquet in the inner hall. She has important matters to discuss with you. Please, follow me. Tu Jingting stands his ground, refusing to budge. If King Han isn't going, I'm not going either. The maid beside Murongshi can't hold back anymore. Our pavilion master only invited young Master Chu. Then I'll just stay at the gates and keep her company in the sea breeze.
秋将惊天，映彻炽烈。
He pulls a fiery fox fur cloak from his storage bag and drapes it over my shoulders. The wind by the sea is strong. Don't let your cold affliction flare up. Murongshi gives me a long, deep look. But as we walk, Murongshi deliberately slows her pace to walk side by side with me. She lowers her voice. She looks him. Her tone laced with a hint of suspicion. You certainly have your ways, Miss Su. The world says young Master Chu has his head in the clouds. But I wonder what kind of love potion you fed him to make him so utterly devoted to you. I turn to look at the #1 beauty of the cultivation world. Instead of getting angry, I smile, lean close to her ear, and whisper. Sister, you are so gorgeous. You're as beautiful as an immortal goddess. And you formed your golden core at such a young age. A glorious future surely awaits you on your path to immortality, and you're bound to ascend to the upper realm. A woman as strong and capable as you, why would you ever worry about not having a man? Why waste your time worrying about men? Murongshi froze right where she stood. As the most stunning beauty in the entire cultivation world, he had heard countless men fawn over her with fake, sleazy compliments, and she had seen through the bitter, jealous schemes of countless women. But this was the first time a woman had praised her strength so openly and directly. I kept going, saying, I really look up to you, sister. I've always wanted to be someone just like you. All the fake politeness at this welcome banquet is just so exhausting. Sister, could you teach me some of your cultivation insights? Instantly, the guard in Murangshe's eyes melted away, and a stunning smile curled on her lips. Well, aren't you a sweet talker? Consider us friends from now on. If you ever run into any trouble with your cultivation, just come straight to me. Inside Chu Jintian's mind, Ding Leng was completely losing it. What is going on? What is happening? There's not a single sign of her turning dark. Why are they holding hands now? No, this is wrong. The plot must have gone completely off the rails.
Du Jingtian couldn't be bothered to listen to him.
He leaned in close to me and handed over a crystal clear elixir. You've been talking so much. Here, soothe your throat. Look how thin you are. You need to nourish yourself. I casually took the elixir. This was a top-tier elixir that money couldn't buy. If I took it back to the sect, I could trade it for a ton of snacks. The welcome banquet was being held in a grand, spacious hall. The sect leader of the Illusion Sea Pavilion, Ancestor Yu Ming, sat regally on the main throne, sizing up Chu Jintian, completely ignoring a tag-along sidekick like me. Di Lin's voice rang out again, urgent. Quick!
Chu Jintian, pay attention.
In a moment, a junior sister at the Foundation Establishment stage is going to rush out and frame Murongshi. You need to step in immediately. Use your top-tier elixirs and cultivation power to utterly humiliate that junior sister and slap her in the face. Stand up for Murongshi. Once you play the hero and save the beauty, the Destiny's daughter will fall head over heels for you, and the plot will finally get back on track. If you want to play the hero, go do it yourself. Leave me out of it. Why on earth should I want every single woman revolving around me? The Colgin spirit earnestly pleaded. This is your destiny! You are a once-in-a-generation genius. All the top-tier female cultivators in this realm should look up to you. I sat right next to Murongshi, hearing every single word of the argument between this guy and his cauldron. Ah, the classic. Hero saving the damsel in distress trope. Well, there's no way in hell I'm letting this trashy plot play out. I picked up my teacup and said, Sister, in the cultivation world, strength is everything. Don't you agree?
Romanchet nodded.
Of course. Survival of the fittest is the ultimate law here. But I've seen so many fairy maidens from prestigious sects who are incredibly powerful. Yet when they get wronged, they only know how to cry and try to reason with people. They just let others drag their names through the mud. I always thought of you, sister, as a true, badass heroine who doesn't sweat the small stuff. If someone were to falsely accuse you, out of nowhere, you wouldn't just swallow your anger and desperately try to prove your innocence, right?
Mais Moranche, live with a clear conscience.
How could I ever let anyone walk all over me? If anyone dares to falsely accuse me, I will make sure they pay a heavy price. Good.
I smiled, thoroughly satisfied.
Just then, a female cultivator in a pink dress, at the foundation establishment stage, rushed into the main hall,
falling to her knees with a loud thud right in front of Ancestor Yuming.
Master, you have to help your disciple. You must do me justice. Ancestor Yuming frowned. Chow chow, crying and sobbing at the unsealing banquet? Where are your manners?
绝脚握不到。
And, with a face drenched in tears, pointed at Marongshir. Master, the holy maiden, she stole my foundation establishment's secret manual and my protective jade bracelet. Please, master, you must get them back and bring me justice. Immediately, every eye in the room locked onto Marongshir. The atmosphere in the hall instantly plunged to freezing point. Cher, your junior sister claims you stole her belongings. Is this true? Master, I saw the holy maiden coming out of my room with my own eyes. And that jade bracelet is the only keepsake my late mother left me. The cauldron spirit urged, hurry up and say something. Take out your supreme treasure and slap this manipulative by times T right in the face. But the guy hesitated. King Hen said, he only admires outstanding heroines. I step in right now. Wait, didn't she just steal Marangshi's spotlight? Marangshi's face instantly turned dark with anger. Just as she was about to speak up and defend herself, I gently pressed her hand under the table, and whispered, Sister, are you really going to debase yourself to prove your innocence to a worthless aunt who just reached foundation establishment?
Ragonshay's not to head around to look at me.
The hesitation in her eyes, instantly freezing into pure, icy coldness. Indeed, she is the grand seventh saintess of the Golden Core stage. Why should she ever have to explain herself to a mere ant? She suddenly stood up, her powerful aura making the tables and chairs in the hall rattle violently. With my Golden Core cultivation, what manual or treasure can't I obtain? Why would I ever need to steal the garbage of a petty foundation establishment disciple? You're full of lies, framing your own fellow disciple. Today, on behalf of Master, I shall punish you, you wicked wretch.
摔倒实地的阿哥你。
Clutching her stomach as she writhed on the floor. Though she survived, half of her lifetime cultivation was utterly destroyed. Master, save me. Moulonche, how dare you? The truth has not even been uncovered yet. How dare you lay such a ruthless hand on your fellow disciple? Oranshir stared at her master, the one who used to dote on her, now flying into a rage, all for the sake of a low-level disciple. Her gaze turned completely, utterly cold. Sister, it seems your master doesn't trust you at all. She is your junior sister. Even if she was wrong, you shouldn't have shattered her meridians. As the saintess, how can you be so incredibly narrow-minded? Ruangshe's heart went completely numb. Framing a fellow disciple is already a cardinal sin in our pavilion. Crippling her cultivation was already me showing mercy. Since you sealed a lying disciple so blindly, Master, could it be that there is some dark, shameful secret between you two? A fleeting, murderous glint flashed deep within Ancestor Netherworld's eyes. Insolent! You dare talk back to your master? Tension in the Grand Hall is at a breaking point. I watch this absolute farce unfold, secretly loving every second of it. The more chaotic it gets inside Hanhai Pavilion, the better our chances of seizing the key to the Kanghai secret realm. Oh my god, Chujentian! Quick, look at that guy in black! Who is that? Ju Jingtian follows the gaze and spots a young man in black with a long sword strapped to his back, standing behind the inner hall's screen. That's Juing. He's the young master of Fanhai Pavilion. He wasn't supposed to show up until much later in the story, when Su Qinghan gets cornered by the other sects because of her good poison flare-up. But now, he's actually showing up early. So, what if he's here early? What does that have to do with me? What do you mean, what does it have to do with you? This chewing guy was a beggar growing up, And Su Qinghan saved his life. He's been secretly in love with her for years. Since you're not following the usual overpowered protagonist route, your love rival has come knocking early. You're about to get cheated on. Your love life is completely ruined. Qingting pauses, his hand holding the melon seeds freezing midair. His gaze instantly sharpens. Of course, I noticed him too. He was just a starving little beggar my father and I happened to save on our way down the mountain years ago.
Qing'an, you've been staring at that pretty boy in black.
Do you two know each other?
They're childhood sweethearts. When Su Qian gets hunted down by the righteous sects later, this kid willingly lets himself be crippled just to save her. How touching is that? Zhu Qingtian grits his teeth. Shut up. Say one more word, and I'll burn both your cauldron and your soul to ash. I fling off Zhu Qingtian's hand, keeping my eyes on the young man in black as he approaches. Of course I know the young master of Honhai Pavilion. I merely tossed him a few buns back then, nothing more. Zhu stops right in front of me. His deep gaze carries a hint of warmth that is almost impossible to detect. Miss Su, I trust you've been well?
Zhu Qingtian instantly steps in front of me.
Casually, twirling a few explosive pills in his hand. If you've got something to say, just say it. Why are you standing so close? My heart is cold. My body is cold. I just can't get enough of your goofy vibe.
Zhu Ying coldly glared at Zhu Qingtian.
Completely ignoring him. Instead, he reached out and handed me a jade pendant. Honhai Pavilion is not some safe harbor. If you run into any trouble, just crush this. But before I could, Zhu Qingtian, with lightning-fast reflexes, snatched the jade pendant and shoved it straight into his own robe. Just as Zhu Ying was about to lose his temper, a deafening crash suddenly echoed from the inner hall. It was the Nether Ancestor, smashing his teacup in a fit of rage, and the welcome banquet ended on a very sour note. Late that night, carrying several bottles of detox pills given to me by Zhu Qingtian, I knocked on Muran Xia's door. Sister, did you notice the murderous intent in your master's eyes when he looked at you today? How is that possible? I'm the saintess. Why would he want to kill me over some girl like Jia Zhao? He didn't kill you today. Only because you still have use to him. He needs you for an alliance. By using Zhu Jingting's top-tier fire spiritual root, he wants to enter the Kanghai secret realm and seize the ancient immortal artifact that will help him break through his cultivation. Once he gets his hands on it. Do you really think an eyesore of a saintess like you will be allowed to live? I struck while the iron was hot. What's more, my informant found out that Jia Zhou is actually your master's illegitimate daughter. You completely ruined his own daughter's cultivation. How could he ever let you off? Brown Shade chopped up abruptly, her eyes filled with utter disbelief, which then turned into a bone-chilling coldness. She gripped the hilt of her sword with white knuckles. What a ruthless scheme. If he's going to be this heartless, then he can't blame me for turning on him. The key to the secret realm is with Zhu Ying. I must send word back to the Murong family immediately and ask our family elders to step in and keep Honhai Pavilion in check. I will deal with Stalling Master. But as for the treasure inside the secret realm, and then Zhu Jingtian must make sure to take it. It absolutely cannot fall into his hands. Don't worry, sister. There's no need to go. A cold, sharp voice drifted in from outside the window. A dark shadow flashed by, and Zhu Ying landed steadily in the room. He didn't even spare a Muran Xi a glance, walking straight up to me and shoving a crystal radiating a deep blue glow into my hand. The key to the Kanghai secret realm. Zhu Ying's voice was completely calm, as if he wasn't handing over some priceless treasure, but just a common pebble. I froze for a moment. Why are you giving this to me? Zhu Ying gave me a deep, intense look. To repay you for saving my life when we were children. I said I would repay it. The time? Zhu Jingtian appeared out of nowhere, throwing an arm around my shoulder, glaring jealously at Zhu Ying. What's with the attitude over just a key? You don't even have the guts to go into the secret realm yourself. At least you know your limits. Ha! Are you totally triggered right now? He willingly handed over the key, just to please Su Cheng'an. Are you mad? 3 days later, Murong Xie led the elites of the Murong clan and launched a lightning attack on Honhai Pavilion, while the sounds of battle raged furiously outside. Zhu Jingtian and I slipped quietly into the Kanghai secret realm on the coast of the Eastern Sea, key in hand. The moment we stepped into the realm, a thick, toxic miasma rushed at us. The bone insect inside me sensed this aura and began to thrash around restlessly. Don't be afraid. I've got you. Zhu Jingting grabbed my hand, sending a steady stream of spiritual energy into me,
instantly dispersing the toxic miasma around me.
Just as we reached the intersection ahead, a massive deep-sea demonic serpent suddenly lunged at us.
I was about to summon my poison goo, but Chu Jingtian pulled me behind him.
Stand back. Let me handle this.
Chu Jingtian whipped out a handful of explosive pills.
A mere watchdog beast dares to block my path with several deafening blasts. That demonic serpent, which would give even a level 7 golden core cultivator a massive headache, was blown to smithereens, charred crisp on the outside and tender on the inside.
Chu Jingtian clapped his hands,
Turning around to beam at me, practically begging for a compliment. Dingling suddenly screamed in panic. Something is wrong with Chu Jingtian! Rangshi has gone completely mad. What happened to Mu Rangxie?
Chu Qintai asked nonchalantly in his mind.
While digging out Yao Zhao's beast core and stuffing it into my hand. Right now, his head was completely filled with how to kill his master and seize control of the Wanhai Pavilion. The entire storyline has completely collapsed.
Chu Jingtian, go romance Su Qinghan right now to fix this.
When danger strikes later, don't make a move. Wait until he's on the brink of death, then step in to play the hero. Why would I want to see him get hurt? I'm a mad. Protecting him is only natural. I listened to the two of them bickering back and forth the entire way. The demonic beasts and arrays inside the secret realm were brutally smashed open by Chu Jingtian's endless supply of elixirs and magical treasures, while all I had to do was follow comfortably behind and pick up the spoils. 7 golden core demon cores, a 1,000-year-old ice sea coral, and a 10,000-year-old deep-sea spiritual plant. They all ended up in my storage bag. Was I even here for an adventure? I was literally here on a shopping spree. Just as I was heading back, loaded with treasures and in high spirits, an ancient altar suddenly loomed ahead. We had reached the Yuo Demon Abyss. The bone parasite inside my body went wild, as if it had encountered some ultimate delicacy. Yet it was also filled with deep terror. I couldn't help but walk up to the altar, reaching out to touch that swirling black mist. Don't touch it. It will backlash. Only the purest, most yang fire spiritual root can suppress it.
Seeing this, Chu Jingtian's face turned pale.
He violently yanks me back into his arms. Qian, it's dangerous. The moment I stepped back, the black mist suddenly erupted with billowing poisonous gas, shattering the surrounding stone pillars into pieces.
If Chu Jingtian hadn't shielded me,
I probably would have been badly injured by the poison. Do you have a death wish?
Chu Jingtian's tone carried a rare trace of anger.
This thing is so dangerous. What would I do if something happened to you? Theo sneered coldly. How ungrateful. An ancient toxic energy is not something a pathetic little cultivator like him can touch. I shook off his hand. I want the ancient poison bead from this demon abyss. Without a second word, Chu Jingtian immediately swallowed a handful of poison-resisting pills. He braved the toxic fumes and walked straight toward the altar. He actually disregarded his own safety, extracting the core of the poison bead bit by bit. Are you crazy? You're risking your life for this? On the altar, Chu Jingtian held the pitch-black poison bead in his hand. His face was deathly pale, and a trickle of blood escaped the corner of his mouth. Yet, he still smiled as he handed the poison bead to me. Qinghan, here. This thing was really a pain to deal with. It almost tore my brand new magic robes. Looking at his forced smile, my heart suddenly ached with pain. You absolute fool! Do you have any idea that if you absorb the spiritual energy of this ancient poison bead, you could ascend straight to the upper realm? Yet, you actually just gave it to her? I stared at him. Do you have any idea that this thing could have helped you ascend? Chu Jingtian wiped his mouth, completely unbothered. What's so great about ascending? The upper realm doesn't have you. The upper realm will do's. Hurry up and absorb it. To cure the poison backlash inside your body. Don't you want to ascend? When did I ever say I wanted to ascend? I snatched the poison bead and shoved it into my storage bag. Then I tossed him a bottle of healing medicine. You just shut up and heal your wounds. Holding the medicine bottle,
Chu Jingtian's eyes sparkled. Kina.
Are you worried about me? I turned away, refusing to look at him. This poison bead, I must bring it back to the Langyuan sect. Now that we have the bead, it's time he learned the truth. At the edge of the secret realm, we paused to rest. Chu Tinto watched me play with the poison bead. If you didn't want to ascend, why did you go to such lengths to find the 9 nether demon abyss? I stared into the distance, my voice devoid of warmth. The spiritual vein of the Langyuan sect is dying. Chungtina froze in shock. It's just one spiritual vein. So what if it's gone? The sect should just disband. Isn't it better for everyone to just go their own way? A way out! To repair that damn vein, my dad's cultivation core was completely destroyed. turning him into a cripple.
My eldest senior sister drained every ounce of her cultivation just to heal ordinary mortals. And my stubborn second senior brother, to save starving refugees, actually went so far as to melt down his own natal treasure.
The people they took in. We're all ordinary mortals with absolutely no spiritual potential. They saved starving little beggars, sacrificing everything just to give them a single bite of food.
And because of that, the entire cultivation world mocked the Lingyuan sect.
So, you're using the dark energy of the 9 underworld abyss to patch up that broken vein?
众让庭的国学校
I stood up abruptly. No way. I would never fix that spiritual vein.
Whether those mortals live or die
Has absolutely nothing to do with me. I hate the Lingyuan sect more than anything. If you hate it so much, then why did you stay?
Why are you practicing this forbidden, self-destructive goo technique?
Chuchakin pressed closer, cornering me until I had nowhere left to retreat.
The emotions I had bottled up for so long finally exploded.
Because they are all so stupid.
my voice trembled.
Countless times, I writhed in agonizing pain from the backlash of my toxic goo. And countless times I risked my life hunting demonic beasts just to exchange for spiritual stones to buy them food.
But every time I returned and saw those ordinary, powerless mortals,
Waking up before dawn to sweep the sect.
planting vegetables and feeding the chickens, the gods and Buddhas wouldn't save them.
But my dad, my sister, and my brother reached out to save them anyway. And I promised them
That under my hand, the Lingyuan sect would become the strongest sect of all.
I can't let them down.
Kuchouting watched me quietly, then stepped forward. He gently pulled me into his arms. The fiery warmth radiating from his body actually chased away the deep chill inside me.
My Qinghan is clearly a soft-hearted little angel who just acts tough.
Yet you insist on pretending to be a wicked, heartless witch.
The cauldron spirit sighed in his mind. Forget it. Forget it.
The people of this Lingyuan sect are so foolish. It actually commands respect.
Just then,
The depths of the 9 underworld abyss suddenly erupted with a blinding light as a powerful pulling force descended from the heavens.
the heavenly Tao has sensed the birth of immortal energy. It is going to force the owner to ascend to the upper realm. Leveraging the power of that celestial energy, Shojingtin, we're ascending to the upper realm right now. We'll kick off a brand new chapter, show everyone who's boss, and crush Emperor Xian.
The pulling force didn't just envelop me, it enveloped Chu Jingting too. I tried to push him away.
I shoved the tox core toward him. You should ascend.
You shouldn't waste your life away here in this lower realm.
I still have to go back to the Lingyuan sect.
Ascend? Like hell I am.
Zhouting shoved the toxic orb right back into my hand.
I'm not ascending. Wherever Qinghan is, that is where I will be. Say that again? I am the spirit of the ancient divine cauldron. I'm not here to play house with you. Your journey in the cultivation world should be the sea of stars. If you don't ascend, what the hell are you staying here for? I'm going to the Lingyuan sect to help Qinghan repair her spiritual veins. You hopeless, lovesick fool. If you don't ascend, I will obliterate you right now. Before the cauldron spirit could even finish,
竹永天扛着的萨玛蒂术法尔外衣去跑。
He made a move to slam his hand onto his portable purple gold alchemical furnace.
Go ahead and try to obliterate me then. Fine. You win. I give up.
You're refusing to ascend, huh?
And you just have to save that trash sect. Is that it? Fine. Today, I'm risking it all.
Before I could even react, the alchemical furnace in Zhu Jingtin's hand
Suddenly expanded violently, growing dozens of feet tall, and forcibly sucked the 9 underworld demon orb right out of my hand. It swept the orb straight into the furnace. I'm sacrificing 100 years of my cultivation to lay down the heaven-defying array for you. In an instant, an apocalyptic burst of pure spiritual energy erupted toward the heavens.
it transformed into a dazzling beam of light, tearing through the sky toward the Lingyuan sect.
Chogyuti kept my hand, smiling like a kid begging for a compliment. Qinghan, look! Is this betrothal gift grand enough for you? I stared up at the brilliant rainbow of spiritual energy spanning the sky. Before I could even be moved to tears, the peaceful celestial music suddenly comes to an abrupt halt. In an instant, dark clouds block out the sky. Purple tribulation lightning rages through the clouds like furious dragons. The heavens are enraged. Oh no. It is the 9 heavens' profound thunder, defying fate to change destiny. Forcibly repairing the spatial spiritual veins has angered the laws of heaven, and now it's sending down a tribulation to destroy us?
Strike it down. You dare touch the betrothal gifts I prepared for my wife? Get the hell out of here.
I bite down hard on my fingertip, forcing myself to endure the agonizing pain tearing through my meridians.
Summoning my Notal golden silkworm goo to help him bear the tribulation.
趁着动医者局
The poison in your bones hasn't been cured yet.
Su Chantin screams in panic.
Wildly stuffing healing pills into his mouth, while shielding the Cauldron Spirit's formation core with his own body. One heavenly thunderstrike after another crashes down, shattering all our protective artifacts.
Magoon insects fall in hordes, dying by the thousands.
Just as we are about to collapse, the Pillar of Light channeling energy to the Lingyu insect finally exhausts its last bit of power and slowly fades away. The tribulation clouds gradually disperse, and both Chu Jintin and I collapse onto the ground, covered in blood.
Right then,
The transmission jade slip at my waist suddenly lights up. My father's trembling, sobbing voice comes through.
Tinan, what did you do?
Father? What's wrong?
the spiritual energy flooded into our sect's dead-back mountain like a waterfall. Centuries-old spiritual herbs are growing back.
My father chokes up and shouts, "Not only have I fully recovered,
But I've broken through straight to the Nasset soul stage.
deafening cheers erupt from the other side of the jade slip.
Ah,
My cultivation is back.
I've broken through to the golden core stage. Little junior sister, all those mortals in our sect who had no spiritual roots, those children and the elderly, they've been cleansed of their mortal impurities in this spiritual rain.
They've actually grown spiritual roots. Warm tears well up in my eyes. Now my vision blurs instantly. No one will ever dare call them a burden.
Ever again. I have finally kept the promise I made to them.
Chun Ting Ten leaned in, wiping away my tears with a sleeve covered in dust. Don't cry. If you keep crying, you won't look beautiful anymore. This betrothal gift of mine. Is my father-in-law satisfied with it? Just as I was about to speak,
Diling suddenly chimed in.
don't celebrate too early.
Half a day later, Chu Jingtin and I rushed back to the Ling insect.
The moment we reached the mountain gate, I was completely stunned by the sight before me. Outside the gate, a massive crowd of sect leaders and elders were kneeling on the ground. The elders of the Ouchin sect are here to congratulate the Lingyun sect on its rebirth. We were completely blind to have offended sect leader Xiao.
Please, show us mercy, sect leader Xiao.
Ma Wengxue, the new master of Huanai Pavilion, has come with generous gifts to visit. The cultivation world that once avoided us like the plague was now bowing their proud heads right at our doorstep. My father stood before the gates, his face beaming with pride. Tears of joy were streaming down his face as he looked at me. I walked toward him, step by step, and stood tall, straightening my back. Just as I was about to give a grand speech as the young leader of the Lingyun sect, a sudden, metallic sweetness surged in my throat. My vision went completely black.
It felt like the blood in my entire body was freezing over. I violently coughed up a mouthful of black blood.
滨海，去海窝的种。Chu Jinte held me tightly.
Panic screaming in his voice.
I knew this was the backlash from the poisonous miasma of the Nine Nether Demon Abyss. To resist the lightning tribulation earlier, I had forced myself to use the Gyu poison, which completely shattered the fragile balance inside my body. Oh no, he was only holding on to life because of that poison bone. Now this life-bound Gu is backfiring.
There's no saving him. Shut the hell up. You're the ancient divine cauldron. You must have a way, right?
Well, there is one way. The ancient texts mention a life-swapping blood elixir. It can cure any poison, but it requires the heart's blood of the caster as a catalyst, used with the primordial source power of an ultimate fire spiritual root. If you refine this elixir, your supreme spiritual root will be completely destroyed. Are you willing to do that?
No, don't.
Without him, what's the use of having this peerless talent? What is the point of being the strongest in the world if I can't even protect you?
Purple gold cauldron.
Thinkest.
You lunatic! I screamed hoarsely, my voice cracking. How can you tell me to let go? You don't even have the strength to lift your arm. A strange, divine medicinal fragrance instantly filled the air. Chujil King's face was as pale as paper. his forehead drenched in cold sweat. Yet, he still desperately shielded the elixir. He watched as a single pill, emitting a soft red glow, flew straight into my mouth. The pill melted the moment it touched my tongue. The violent nine-nether poison raging in my chest, as if it had met its natural enemy, was instantly subdued by a gentle, soothing warmth. But then, Jutin, your body went completely limp, and you collapsed right into my arms. The spiritual energy radiating from his body was fading away at an alarming rate.
Jutin, why are you being so foolish? A once-in-a-century genius of the beauty insect.
Completely ruined. My father and senior sister rushed forward, crowding around us, their eyes filled with absolute panic and heartbreak.
I wiped away my tears
and carefully pulled Ju Zhengqing close, shielding him in my arms.
I looked up, staring coldly at the scheming sect masters surrounding us.
虚江田是个科普鸟。
The divine cauldron and legendary treasures he carries would be a total waste if they stayed with him.
Why not hand them over to us for safekeeping?
Hand them over to you?
Xu Qingkang, even if you've cured your poison,
you are still extremely weak right now.
Even if the lingering sect has regained its spiritual energy,
you are still nothing but a pathetic rabble of amateurs.
Hand over the sacred cauldron,
and I might just let you live.
Who do you think you are, trying to steal his things?
I didn't even reach for a weapon. I simply snapped my fingers. In an instant, the ground beneath the Wild Blade Sect Master split wide open.
Thick vines erupted from the earth.
This was my supreme blood spirit root, mutated from the remnants of the cured poison. The vines seized the Wild Blade Sect Master, hanging him upside down in midair. The nascent soul cultivation he was so proud of was completely powerless against these vines. Gum's body was freezing cold, without a shred of warmth left. Screaming, the sect master of the Wild Blade sect was flung 100 meters away by the vines. His fate was completely unknown. I turned around and checked Chu Jingtin's pulse. His eyelashes fluttered slightly, and he slowly opened his eyes. He looked down at his empty dantian, and suddenly did something that caught everyone completely off guard. The Jungian sect shall receive the sacred decree. My father frowned deeply, munched, and led us out to meet him. The Central Plains Holy Land ruled over all mortal cultivators, and its power was unfathomably deep. It was definitely not something the current Lingyan sect could afford to provoke.
The messenger looked down on us with supreme arrogance.
For the offense of the Lingyan sect secretly occupying a spiritual vein,
the Holy Lord has shown mercy.
The entire Lingyung sect is hereby conscripted to mine spiritual ores for the Holy Land.
You shall be slaves for life,
and you will depart immediately. As soon as those words were spoken, fury erupted throughout the entire Lingyung sect.
Forcing our entire sect to be mining slaves?
They are clearly targeting our newly revived spiritual vein, and they want to completely wipe us out.
Lord Messenger,
isn't this going way too far?
Though the Lingwan sect is small,
we will never accept such humiliation.
A mere Nesset's soul cultivator
dares to be so insolent.
The golden armored messenger sneered and casually waved his hand. My father let out a muffled groan
and was actually forced back several steps by that casual strike,
blood spilling from the corner of his mouth.
Father, the messenger's power is unfathomable.
He must be at least at the peak of the soul formation realm.
A bunch of ungrateful ants.
The messenger sneered as a ball of spiritual light condensed in his palm,
and he hurled it violently down at us.
Just as the attack was about to crush us,
求讲天，哼，还肯比海底比喊你，严哥竟把你艘航探
suddenly took a step forward.
This is great! You!
Are you all right?
My meridians are shattered.
I'll find a way to restore your cultivation in the future.
Restore? Why would I want to restore it?
No way. I used to be forced to cultivate every single day, and it was exhausting as hell.
Now that I'm just a regular mortal,
I can finally live off my wife, loud and proud. His brain isn't broken. He's just purely shameless.
Fine, I'll support you.
Old man, you can go back now.
From now on, I'm the live-in husband of the Lingyan Shack,
so don't come bothering me.
The elder's eyes roll back in pure rage,
and he storms off in a huff.
With that, the tense confrontation finally settles. The sect master hosts a grand banquet.
My dad happily busies himself preparing the feast, and the entire Lingyuan sect is filled with joy.
Even though Chu has lost his cultivation today, he has become the most pampered little ancestor of the entire sect. But the good times didn't last long. Half a month later, a massive spirit ship that blots out the sun suddenly descends upon the Lingyun sect. Before that devastating beam of spiritual light could even strike, Jayan Chintan was instantly swallowed by the golden light bursting from his chest. Without even making a splash. What on earth is that? Haha, you absolute frog at the bottom of a well. Did you really think rising from the ashes was just a joke? Haha, that punk destroyed my fire spiritual root. But that actually awakened a chaos origin sleeping deep inside my body. The ultimate peak of living off your wife is being able to turn around and slap the enemy to death the moment she is in danger. The golden armored messenger felt as if he was struck by a divine dragon. His knees buckled. He struggled desperately, but was ruthlessly crushed by the invisible, overbearing laws of nature, unable to even lift his head. I stared blankly at that radiant, magnificent figure in the sky, and my heart skipped a beat. The Chaos Origin. So you're the remnant of that family the upper realm has been hunting for 100 years. You are dead meat. The Zhongzhou Holy Land will never let you off.
祝降天有吹吹
You're going to die a horrible death. Shut up already. Can't you see I'm talking to my wife? He was wanted by the upper realm. Turns out he was the sole survivor of the Chu family, the greatest alchemy clan in the upper realm, because they guarded this sacred cauldron. They were framed by the powerful lords of the upper realm and the Zhongzhou Holy Land. He fled to the mortal realm, which is how he ended up as a disciple of the Outen sect. Wife, you're not going to throw me away, are you? You're my man. No one is taking you away from me. Right then, the unconscious golden armored messenger suddenly exploded in a burst of bloody light. A golden transmission talisman shattered to pieces, launching a massive pillar of light straight into the sky. Oh no! He crushed his bloodline talisman before he died. The armies of the Zhongzhou Holy Land are about to teleport straight here. Dark clouds boiled across the sky, tearing open a massive, gaping black hole in space. Warships gleaming with cold, deadly light began pouring out of the void, completely surrounding the sky above the Lingyun sect. Leading them was a Holy Land elder, riding a fierce, flaming golden beast. Hand over the Chu family survivor. Every member of the Lingyun sect must destroy their own cultivation. Do that, and we might leave your bodies intact. The Lingwing sect had only just awakened, though terrified. The newly awakened disciples didn't take a single step back. They gripped their magical weapons tightly, shielding me and Chu Jingtin behind them. I took a deep breath, glushed Chu Jingtin aside, and said, "You don't have your cultivation right now. Get behind me." "Yes, ma'am. You're the best, Weepy." I formed hand seals rapidly, fusing my top-grade wood spiritual root with the remaining power of the poison bone. Countless barbed, dark green poison vines erupted toward the sky, weaving into a massive toxic web above the Lingwen sect. The elder sneered, raising his staff. Activate the heaven-burning inferno formation. Burn these insects to ashes. Raging flames roared down, and my poison web began to wither under the intense heat. Just as I was about to burn my own life force to reinforce the shield, Shizhogyun, standing right behind me, slowly let out a yawn. Playing with fire in front of me? The origin of chaos itself? What an absolute joke. He didn't even lift a single finger. The phantom of the purple gold divine cauldron on his chest flashed slightly. Instantly, the massive rain of fireballs plunging from the sky completely reversed direction. Every single one of them was sucked right into the phantom of that divine cauldron. The rival elder was completely dumbfounded. This warship's materials aren't bad. Black iron and crimson copper. Perfect for refining a few hairpins for my darling wife. Ah! Haha, The chaos, heaven refining art. All things can be used as ingredients, and all things can be refined. This is amazing.
The elder watched his army instantly collapse. Spitting blood in sheer rage, he crushed the heart-protecting mirror on his chest with one hand. Divine Sovereign Tuanqing,
Descend in your true form. As the protective mirror shattered,
a terrifying pressure far exceeding that of a deity, transformation weapon, descended from the heavens. A massive golden phantom coalesced in the sky, radiating brilliant golden light, imposing and majestic, without even showing anger. It was none other than the Lord of the Central Plains, Sacred Land.
the sacred Lord's divine manifestation.
You little Chu family bastard. To think you've actually grown this strong? Hand over the divine cauldron, and this deity will grant you a quick, painless death. Otherwise, I will wipe out all life for 100 miles around.
Old geezer.
Quite a big mouth you have there. The immense pressure is crushing my very bones, but I grit my teeth tightly, my knees not bending even a single inch. I, Su Qing'an, in this lifetime, will never kneel to anyone.
Just as Zhu Dantian was about to strike,
Suddenly, a contemptuous hum of a sword resonated from the horizon, followed by a cold sneer. The Central Plains, Sacred Land. Such grand arrogance. Do you really think there is no one left in our cultivation world?
Buoxie, is your Illusion Sea Pavilion trying to start a war among the immortal sects?
You must be joking, Holy Lord. I only came here to enjoy some tea, but if anyone tries to hurt my friend, they'll have to answer to my sword first. Juing, a man of action and few words, doesn't waste time talking. Drawing his longsword, he turns into a streak of black lightning, charging straight at the massive, glowing figure in the sky. The ultimate clash begins. In an instant, the ice dragon roars, sword energy sweeps across the battlefield. Along with the Ling insect disciples, led by my father, they actually managed to withstand the overwhelming pressure of the Holy Lord's avatar. Meanwhile, Qiu Jingtian hides behind me, eating the grapes I stuffed into his mouth, while casually playing backseat general. Oh, brother Juing, that sword strike was a bit too slow. Wrong shit. If your ice dragon went just a bit more to the left, it would have hit his nose. Everyone else is out there risking their lives, and here you are, playing the freeloader. This avatar is just a clone. I need to save my strength for whatever dirty tricks he has up his sleeve next. Sure enough, seeing that his attacks are getting him nowhere, the Holy Lord's avatar suddenly sneers. Since you're all begging for death, then you can all die together. The Holy Lord's avatar opens its massive mouth, and countless chains of black, resentful energy come gushing out. They bypass everyone, aiming straight for the back mountain of the Lingu insect, where the defenseless mortal families are. How despicable. If those black chains touch them, those powerless mortals won't stand a chance. The Holy Lord wants to destroy the very foundation of the Lingyan sect and force Qiu Jingting to submit. I shoved Qiu Jingting aside and rushed toward the back mountain without a second thought, shielding the women and children behind me. I slammed both hands onto the ground. Since my wood spirit root can't stop this, then I'll release the 9 Nothers poison I've been suppressing deep inside my heart as well. 9 Nothers poison domain. Open. With me at the center. For miles around, the ground instantly turned a sickening purplish black. Countless eerie, venomous flowers bloomed across the wasteland, creating an absolute, deadly domain of my own. The moment those black, resentful chains entered my poison domain, they were instantly corroded into nothingness. But this took a massive toll on me too, forcing my poison domain to activate like this. Caused blood to spill from the corner of my mouth. My face turned deathly pale. Slowly beating her like this, Chujiang dropped the grape right out of his mouth. The lazy look in his eyes instantly vanished. In its place was a terrifying, cold, golden glare. He took a step forward, ascending into the air. His voice so cold it sounded like it came from the depths of hell. You old bastard. You shouldn't have touched my wife. Golden chaos origin erupted around Qiu Jingting, wrapping him entirely. There were no flashy moves, no complex magical treasures. He completely bypassed all barriers and the distance of space itself. In a single step, he teleported right in front of the Holy Lord's avatar. How dare you! I'll show you what I dare, you old bastard. Qiu Jingting raised his right hand.
and plunged it straight into the giant, glowing golden face.
The power of the Chaos Origin exploded instantly, swelling violently as it devoured the Avatar's power. With a blood-curdling shriek, the once high and mighty Holy Lord's Avatar was ripped to shreds by Chujintian's bare hands. The golden light filling the sky shattered into the purest spiritual energy, rained down upon the Ling insect like raindrops,
初九丁田找拔他的管
and rushed over frantically to hold me up. The terrifying killing intent in his eyes instantly vanished, replaced by pure worry. My love, does it hurt? Quick, swallow this healing pill. Rayangshe and Juing stood frozen your bog, completely dumbfounded. But just as we thought the danger had passed, a deafening boom, far louder than the shattering of the Avatar, shook the heavens. Diling's voice shook with absolute terror. We're doomed! Chu Jingtian unleashed his ultimate power. The beings of the upper realm have detected the heavenly gate. The heavenly gate is about to be forced open. A majestic, divine voice echoed through the sky, but there was no peace in that sound. Only a suffocating, terrifying sense of ultimate judgment. Out of the portal stepped a pair of heavenly soldiers clad in silver armor. Leading them was a four-eyed divine general, gripping a golden, demon-subduing staff. His 4 golden eyes swept over the ground below, before locking onto Chu Jintian like razor-sharp blades. The remnants of the Chu clan have hidden in the lower realm for 100 years. Have you finally dared to unleash your origin power? The general's voice boomed like 10,000 claps of thunder, sending the weaker disciples of the Lingyun sect coughing up blood and collapsing to the ground. Then, his gaze snapped to me. How dare you harbor a divine criminal and attempt to lay your filthy hands on the divine cauldron? Before the words even finished hanging in the air, the demon-subduing staff in his hand trembled violently and crashed straight down toward my skull. It was an absolute power that transcended the very laws of the mortal realm. It was too fast. The pressure too suffocating. The air itself seemed to freeze at this very moment. I couldn't even lift a single finger, only able to watch helplessly as that devastating, blinding light crashed down. But right at that life and death moment, the poison orb of the 9-nether demonic abyss in my storage bag began to vibrate violently. A single defiant thought flashed through my mind. If heaven is ruthless and treats all living things like worthless insects, then I will hold up this sky myself. You want my life? A mere watchdog like you doesn't have what it takes. I refused to be crushed by fear. Instead, I pushed the wood spiritual root in my body to its absolute limit. I didn't let the poison orb corrupt me into a demon. Instead, I did the exact opposite, instantly detonating the 10,000 years of pure, raw life force stored within it and pouring it directly into my spiritual root. Wood gives life to all creation. Its power of creation is boundless. With a sharp cry, a towering emerald green light erupted from my body. Giant green vines burst through the earth, weaving together above the Lingyun sect to form a massive, ancient divine tree. The thunderous, devastating blows slammed violently against the divine tree. The aura of the ancient Jinwu tree? To think the spiritual root inside your body could evolve to such a terrifying level. You had outstanding job! Chu Chinta laughed heartily, looking at me bathed in that brilliant, radiant glow. The chaotic origin energy around him coalesced into a suit of dazzling golden armor, pointing his sword of chaos straight at the heavens. He stood right beside me, side by side. 1 gold, 1 emerald. 2 powerful forces intertwine. They violently shatter the clouds filling the sky. One possesses the chaos bloodline. The other, the successor to a divine artifact. Today, I'm risking everything. I'm taking you all to fight our way to the top.
Chota Ken pointed his sword at the divine generals in the sky.
Then turned and raised an eyebrow at me. My lady, why don't we just storm the heavenly gates today? And demand answers from those old bastards? I wiped the blood from the corner of my mouth, gave a cold laugh, and replied, Great idea! Today I want to see if the view up there actually justifies their arrogance. Ruangshi and Juing led the others to retreat to the back mountain. Down below, my father shouted with tears in his eyes, Qindan, you must come back alive today. I nodded firmly. Don't, waving my hand to release a massive wave of emerald spiritual light. It formed an indestructible barrier, shielding the Lingyun sect. The two of us soared like meteors defying the heavens, charging straight into the army of heavenly soldiers, blocking our path. The 4-eyed divine general tried to stop us, but with a combined strike, Chu Zhengtin and I blasted him thousands of feet away. We crushed everything in our path, carving a way through layers of clouds, and stepped right through the white jade heavenly gate that symbolized supreme power. But beyond the gate lay no sacred paradise. Instead, it was a massive platform of gold and silver, paved with black gold. Rows of gold-armored guards stood tightly packed on both sides, radiating pure, murderous intent. And at the very front of the ranks, sitting on a magnificent, yet chillingly cold throne, was a familiar figure. The man held a glazed chalice, literally sipping his divine tea. He slowly turned around, I have been waiting for you for quite some time.
You truly did not disappoint me. To our shock, this man was the Grand Elder of the Otri sect.
The Grand Elder of the Ocean sect? I furrowed my brows, staring at the once cowardly old man sitting on the throne. He is not the Grand Elder. He carries the exact scent of the monster who wiped out my Chu family.
Impressive eyesight, young Master Chu.
I am Lord Siwei, sovereign under the late Emperor. Back then, I wiped out your Chu family to seize the Chaos Cauldron. I never expected you to be so lucky. And hide in the Shai family's Aishan sect with the cauldron. It suddenly hit me. That old bastard had been playing dumb for decades, just to keep tabs on Jingtian and wait for the perfect moment to steal the cauldron. Jingtian gripped his chaos sword,
His eyes cutting like knives.
Today, I will take your worthless life to avenge my entire family. Within these heavenly gates, I am the supreme ruler. This is an inescapable trap. With his sudden, thunderous roar,
10,000 golden rays shot up around the ascension platform,
forming a massive glowing cage.
that trapped Jingtian and me dead in the center.
The golden cage began to shrink, and the crushing pressure of the upper realm's laws wasn't something a lower realm cultivator could ever withstand. The 9 nether demonic energy inside me was completely suppressed, and my bones began to pop and crack under the agonizing strain.
Jushin let out a muffled groan
And pulled me tightly into his chest, using his own back to shield me from the merciless slashes of the golden blades.
Looking at the blood seeping through his golden armor,
My heart ripped to pieces. This divine trap is powered by the very essence of the immortal realm.
Gungshen only has his chaos essence right now.
Without his cultivation to back it up, he won't last much longer. Hand over the cauldron.
I might consider leaving this woman with an intact corpse.
Go to hell, you old bastard.
Jungchen shot out a mouthful of blood.
His eyes gleaming with the ferocity of a wild wolf. I took a deep breath
And squeezed Jintin's hand tightly.
Tinta, if we combine your chaos flame with my 9 nether poison blood,
Can we melt this damn cage?
Yunzheng's eyes lit up.
And a wild, crazy grin spread across his face. Brilliant idea, my love. Today, let's show these self-righteous gods what we're made of. Without a second thought, I forced out the purest drop of 9 nether poison blood from my heart and smeared it onto Jingtin's chaos sword. The chaos origin can refine anything and everything in existence, and my 9 nether poison staff can corrode every cosmic law.
fusing them together multiplies their power 1,000 times over.
Now, break! With a furious roar, Xu Jingtin slashes his sword directly at the golden cage. That unstoppable legendary formation dissolves like a paper cup doused in acid, leaving a massive, gaping hole. Seizing the chance, we burst right out of the cage,
去用天无皮手塔，爸。
sending a pitch-black wave of energy straight at Lord Ziwei's face. Lord Z's face goes pale with terror. He frantically summons his immortal shield to block the blow. But that raging, lethal energy pierces right through his shield in an instant, slashing brutally deep into his chest. Screaming in agony, he falls headlong from his throne, a massive charred wound corroding into his chest. I look down at him coldly.
So this is the almighty Lord Ziwei.
Nothing but a joke. You really think you've won? Look down below.
Thank you.
This is the sky mirror. I might not be able to kill you myself, but I can use this mirror to rain divine lightning directly down on the Lingyun sect. I'll make every single mortal and cultivator down there die with you. Inside the mirror, dark, menacing clouds suddenly mass over the Lingyun sect. Bolts of divine lightning are striking down in a frenzied assault. My eyes nearly burst with rage. I try to rush forward to snatch the mirror, but several golden armored generals block my path, holding me back. Watching our grand barrier buckle under the relentless lightning, panic grips my chest. Senior sister, second seer brother, and all those disciples who just got a second chance at life, are they all going to die in this horrific sudden disaster? Beside me, Xu Jingtin's fury boils over. With a single strike, he blows away 2 of the divine generals, but he's still too late to stop Lord Ziwei from fueling the array. But just when all hope seems lost, something completely unexpected happens within the mirror. Through the sky mirror, not a single soul from the Lingyun sect is backing down. Eldest sister and second brother are right at the very front, pushing their cultivation to the absolute limit to hold up the defensive shield. My father, Mirong Shi, Juing, and all those mortal disciples who once had no spiritual roots, they are actually holding hands, channeling the faint spiritual energy that has just awakened in their bodies. They are pouring it all, without reservation, deep beneath the Lingyun sect, flake into the spiritual veins. We, the people of Lingyun, will never back down. Even in death, we will never back down. Their furious roars pierce through the treasure mirror, echoing all the way to the heavenly gate. The spiritual vein that Xu Jingtain had forcefully repaired seems to sense everyone's unyielding spirit, and lets out an earth-shattering dragon roar. A colossal dragon of spiritual energy, solid as stone, soars into the sky, holding back the destructive divine lightning head-on.
My eyes well up with tears. These are the family members I swore to protect with my life.
They were never a burden. They are the sturdiest backbone of Lingyon.
Lord Ziwai's eyes widened in utter disbelief.
Impossible. A bunch of lower realm ants?
How could they possibly block the divine lightning of the immortal realm? Because you don't understand the first thing about what it means to protect. Lord Z spins around in terror,
only to be met by Chu Jingqing's fist, blazing with the chaos true fire.
这条 Ken roars furiously.
You dared to bring down the heavenly tribulation to hurt my wife? Today you must die here. Your time is up. As an immortal lord,
求求见，此盖裁殿也我绷的为鞭子和我金属。
to help you seal this mirror, just focus entirely on unleashing your true fire, and leave the rest to me. The phantom of the purple gold divine cauldron solidifies behind Chu Jingtin. The cauldron flips upside down and crashes down, trapping both Lord Ziwei and the sky-reaching treasure mirror inside. The tribulation channel leading to the Lingyan sect is instantly cut off. No, immortal emperor, save me!
Chu Jingtin, you'll kill me.
The immortal emperor will make sure both your soul and body are completely obliterated. Lord Z screams in absolute despair.
邱炯廷火如海醒，
His eyes, cold and ruthless, thinking out a single word. Father. Amidst the raging flames, Lord Ziwa's voice grew weaker and weaker, just as he was on the verge of turning to ash. A heavy sigh suddenly echoed from deep within the heavenly gate. The true mastermind behind it all finally lost his patience. The void behind the throne tore open, and a phantom figure draped in imperial robes slowly emerged. The former emperor himself had arrived. The sheer pressure radiating from just his projection was enough to force both me and Qi Qingtian back several steps. Without so much as a glance at Lord Ziwei as he burned to ash, his gaze locked dead onto Chu Jingting.
求讲天，韩斗位的地反搞转。
And I shall grant you the rank of immortal venerable. You will stand second only to one, and rule above tens of thousands. As for this Diminutus from the lower realm, I can grant her a swift and painless death. I let out a cold sneer, deepening my grip on the vines in my hands, ready to fight to the bitter end.
朱秋天 kept his lowered.
His shoulders trembling slightly. Assuming Chu Junting was swayed, the former emperor smiled with smug satisfaction. But in the next second,
出就停民不大。
staring at the former emperor like he was a complete idiot. The rank of immortal venerable. Sure sounds incredibly fancy, doesn't it?
副总天展开职了停日。
The former emperor sneered proudly. Of course. It is the greatest honor of your life. Honor? My ass. I was living the sweet life in the lower realm, happily living off my wife. And you want me to dump her just to be your loyal dog? Are you out of your damn mind? Insolent! You dare throw my generosity back in my face? Then you can both rot in hell. A colossal golden hand, large enough to block out the sky, came crashing down on us, intending to wipe us from existence. With a ferocious roar, Chu Chunking screamed.
Ha. Kuha, give me all of your light nether demonic energy.
Without a moment's hesitation, I wrapped my arms around him from behind, pouring every ounce of demonic energy and poison from my body directly into his, holding nothing back. With this single strike of my sword, I do not seek ascension. I only want to shatter your hypocritical, self-righteous, heavenly Tao. The black whale blade sliced right through the Celestial Emperor's giant palm. Its momentum never wavered, slashing straight toward the phantom of the Celestial Emperor and the throne that symbolized his supreme power. The Celestial Emperor let out a terrified, furious roar. With a deafening crash, the throne shattered and the heavenly gate collapsed, faced with this ultimate power. A fusion of the divine realm's origin and the underworld's demonic miasma. The phantom of the Celestial Emperor was completely torn to shreds, vanishing into nothingness. And that wasn't all. This unbelievably dominant strike instantly severed the barrier of laws that kept the upper and lower realms apart. From this day forward, there will be no more high and mighty celestial realm ruling over the lower realm cultivators. No one will ever have to endure those brutal heavenly tribulations again. All living beings are now equal. Doing his weak yet relieved voice echoed in my mind. Beautifully done. I'm going into a deep sleep to recover now. Don't bother me. Chu Qinghem and I looked at each other and smiled, holding each other tightly. Without the support of the heavenly Tao's laws, the both of us lost the strength to stay afloat. Locked in an embrace, we plummeted down toward the Lingian sect in the lower realm.
Qiu Qinghan held on to me for dear life.
And suddenly screamed, "Wife! My cultivation is completely gone.
Falling from this high, we're going to end up as flat as pancakes. Hurry up and catch me." Half a month later,
The once dilapidated gates of the Lingian sect have now become the sacred land of the entire cultivation world. With the passage between the upper and lower realms completely open, the Yuyan sect, blessed with the most powerful spiritual vein,
became the undisputed #1 sect.
Baghdad was grinning from ear to ear all day long, leading the mortal disciples as they worked enthusiastically on rebuilding the sect. As for me, I was lounging on a rocking chair carved from 10,000-year-old warm jade on the back mountain, leisurely soaking up the sun.
The poison inside me had been completely purified after the battle at the Heavenly Gate,
And my cultivation had successfully stabilized at the Realm Master stage.
"Open wide, sweetheart."
Chu Tung is holding a plate of premium, freshly peeled fruit, and eagerly sidled up to me with a kiss-ass grin, popping one right into my mouth.
Ever since he lost his cultivation, his absolute favorite thing to do every single day has been figuring out how to use his cauldron to brew soup for me. Why is this fruit so sour today? I muttered, arching an eyebrow.
Zhun Jingtai instantly panicked.
"Really? Sour?"
Zhang, go borrow my father-in-law's flying sword right now.
"I'm going to the villa to pick some sweet ones for you."
Watching him rush off in a total frenzy, I couldn't help but smile.
"Well, I guess I'll just have to let this sweet freeloader live off me for the rest of his life."